The human family is in as dire a condition as it has been in our lifetime. Millions around the globe will be inflicted by COVID-19. Hundreds of thousands will die, all within the space of just a few months. If we don't already know someone who is sick with the virus, we almost certainly will. And if we don't already know someone who's died from the disease, we are likely to. So much pain and so much fear and so much anger. How can we get any relief? Where can we go to confront that pain and fear and anger that occupies our hearts and our minds and our souls? Well, here we are on Good Friday. Here we are at the cross. It is probably the only place we can go, the only place where we can both confront and perhaps obtain relief from the pain and the fear and the anger that inhabits so much of our lives these days, these long weeks and these long months. In her book, Christ's Passion, Our Passions, Margaret Bullitt Jonas reflects on our coming before the cross, not to probe the last 7 words of Christ, but to allow those words to probe us. The first of these last 7 words are, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." I don't want to get distracted into pondering who the them was that Jesus was referring to. The soldiers, the religious authorities, the cowardly disciples, the easily manipulated crowds of people, us, you, me. That would be dipping our minds into probing the words, as Bullitt Jones warns us about. More important for this brief time of reflection, I think, is that we allow those words to probe us. With the words, "Father, forgive them," we are privileged to eavesdrop briefly into a conversation within the divine life of the Trinity, the Son entreating the Father about forgiveness, a topic that is central to the teachings of Jesus and his instructions to those who follow him. Because I don't suppose that Jesus included forgiveness in the Lord's Prayer because the disciples were already so quick to forgive. My suspicion is that they, like most of us, or at least like me, are miserable in forgiving others sometimes. And so it is in the Lord's Prayer that we can at least be reminded of that every time we say it. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. As the words of Jesus probe us, probe me, I know that I have to get better at forgiving. Forgiving those who have hurt me unintentionally, and forgiving those who have perhaps hurt me intentionally. It's so much more easy and seemingly self-satisfying to hang on to my hurts. I get to keep them locked away in a secret place. I can bring them out every now and then to admire and nurture them, to remind myself of how very much I was hurt. All the while fooling myself that I am an emotionally and spiritually healthy person, when in truth, those unforgiven hurts that I'm hanging on to so constantly are gnawing and eating at my soul. I like the way that Henry Nouwen said it. Forgiveness is the name of love practiced among people who love poorly. And so we need to forgive and be forgiven every day, every hour increasingly, because the hard truth is that all people love poorly. Forgiveness, Nouwen says, is the great work of love among the fellowship of the weak. The fellowship of the weak that is the human family. Today, on Good Friday, at the cross, Margaret Bullitt Jones tells us that at the cross, all suffering and evil, and I would add every hurt, are touched by love. At the cross, all suffering and evil and hurt are touched by love. Here, through the grace of God, all suffering and evil and hurt are endured, are absorbed, and are transformed. Through the grace of God, all suffering, all evil, and all hurt are endured, absorbed, and transformed. Like a lightning rod, the cross of Christ draws them all to itself, neutralizing their poison, and grounds them in love. We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world.